we get a good understanding of what we're getting into as far as Forex. Again, what's cool about the cryptocurrency market is a new and emerging market. And what Vista is trying to do and what they are doing and not trying to do, what they're doing and what I'm excited about, and I actually invested, I got my coins this week. I called Lewis, I said, Lewis, I need some of those coins. So I got some this week because I believe in the vision of the many companies that I've been involved with that do cryptocurrency. A lot of them take your money, they say, they give you these promises, but they're not legitimate. They're not transparent about their data, about what they're doing, how they're doing it. There are very few coins that I really, really, truly believe in, and there are about 5 on the top of my list. And so, again, Vista is really, again, I'm very impressed by what's been accomplished here and what's continued to happen. So what I was saying is the cryptocurrency market is a brand new market. I mean, we're talking about a few years old, where the foreign currency market, it's an old market. It's an established market. Now, does that mean any less of an opportunity that's available? In fact, actually, there's great opportunity available in both markets. So Vista, of course, has allowed you guys to participate in the cryptocurrency market and the big movement that's happening there. What's cool about the Forex market is that you can participate. And most people just don't understand how to participate in this marketplace. We're going to be teaching, and then part of our training with Vista is to get you guys familiar with the Forex market and with the ability, of course, when the back office is finished up, and I know Armin, the guys are working hard on getting the Forex side of it set up so that we can all start trading. We will make it a very, very simple process. Of course, with the Vista Forex packages, you wouldn't have to necessarily learn how to trade yourself. But what is really nice is that with Vista, what we've done is we've given everybody the opportunity to hold their own account. So you will own your own account. You will have your own money in your account. And so what our software will do, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, it will actually trade in your account. So anytime you decide that you don't like the direction that your account's going in, you can say, hey, I wish to withdraw my funds and take it out. That's different from most of the other companies that are out there on the marketplace that take your money and basically you have no control over it. You literally, if they decide to shut down, as we know some companies have done, they take all our Bitcoin, they take all our money, and boom, we're left holding the bag. That's not the situation here. You actually will get an app. So you'll get an app that you can install on your phone. You can actually monitor the markets. You can monitor the trades that are coming through. And at any point in time, you can stop and say, hey, I don't want to trade anymore. I don't like this trading. So let's talk a little bit again, and just to give you a recap about the Forex market and what it is and how you can definitely benefit. So I've put together a small presentation here. And again, over time, you will learn more and more about the Vista opportunity because there's an official PowerPoint presentation coming. So you'll learn more about that. So again, what is Forex trading? You just learned from the video, Forex stands for foreign exchange. So it's just a hyphenated word that basically stands for foreign exchange. Basically, all it is trading one currency for another. So you'll learn about where in the brokers, they have currency pairs. And the central banks and a lot of the commercial companies will learn about that use the foreign exchange market. They've put together these foreign currencies, and they kind of match each other. And you'll learn about that in a minute. And so basically, the foreign exchange is about $5.3 trillion a day. I want you to let that soak into your mind. It's a very liquid market. In fact, it's the most liquid market on the planet. And it's only second to the commercial trade market. So it's the second largest industry in the world. $5.3 trillion a day in daily activity is what happens on this marketplace. To give you a little perspective, if you take the travel industry on a whole, whether that's ships, planes, boats, cruises, whatever that is, it's $1 trillion a year. $1 trillion a year compared to $5.3 trillion a day. Just let that sink in for a minute. So who actually trades Forex and why? So central banks trade in the Forex. In fact, they help control the price of the currency. If you understand the role of a central bank is there for monetary control. They control the price of the dollar. Isn't that why we got into cryptocurrency, right? Well, we'll get to that, the politics of that later. But they control the price of a currency. They regulate. So if they think that inflation and they think that the price of the dollar is going too high or it's going too low or they're not getting the value, they actually control those prices and they may lock those prices in. So your euro might be at this much per dollar. And so they control a little bit about how the currencies are pegged together and how they work so that they make sure that they don't go out of business. And of course, the country doesn't go out of business. And so they control that. Then you have banks. Now, banks typically work with corporations. And how do corporations participate in this? Well, I'll give you a good example. If you were to take Ford Motor Company. Ford Motor Company creates the Ford motor car, whether it's the, whatever vehicle you drive. But they may order parts from Japan. They may order parts from China. And so every day there is a transaction, there's a deal going on. These corporations make a deal, let's say with a company in Japan for maybe some switches, right? Well, they need to exchange the US dollar for the Japanese yen. So what they do is they go into the market and they actually move the market. So these companies actually move the market. They work with the banks. They go to the bank, they say, listen, I need $100 million US converted into Japanese yen. This type of a transaction can move the market in one way or the other. Of course, the demand for the Japanese yen could reduce increase the price of the Japanese yen and reduce the cost of the US dollar. So, and vice versa, that happens. So that's how banks and corporations affect the move in the marketplace. So it's not random, even though it may look random, and you'll see we'll talk about that in a minute. Then we have individuals like you and I, we call retail traders. Now, we actually go through what is called brokers. These brokers are online brokers. Most of them are regulated around the globe. You want to be careful, again, not to get into a broker that's not regulated. Now, the U.S. is very highly regulated, very, very highly regulated. And of course, we know this even with cryptocurrency. Well, the Forex market is highly regulated as well. But these brokers are independent. They're decentralized. Basically, they control, they get a price, they go into the market, they buy the currency based on the price that you get in. And depending on how much you're purchasing, you can actually get into that marketplace. So let's talk about the advantages of the Forex market. As I mentioned earlier, it is a highly liquid market. When you're talking about dollars, $5.3 trillion a day, that's a lot of money, okay? That is a lot of money. I think that's like giving each individual in the world maybe about $1 million. How many are there? 6 billion people in the world? So that's like each person having $1 million. That's some crazy numbers, guys. So it's a highly liquid market. So you very find the opportunity where you're not able to get into that marketplace. Better risk management. What does that mean? It means that you can start up as low as what they call 0.01 lot size. Now, the way the market works, it works in lot sizes. And when I go into my other presentation, I'll kind of show you when I display on the screen. It starts up at 0.01 lots, and it can go all the way up to 100 lots. And that can reach into the millions of dollars in purchases. 0.01 is considered a micro lot. Then you get 0.10 is a mini lot. So it goes up, and I won't go through too much detail on that. The next thing is that it is And so the next part to this is it's available 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. So it doesn't matter almost what time zone you're in. You could almost actually do trading 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's during the business hours. It starts here in the U.S. Sunday evening at 5 p.m. Eastern, and it ends Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Of course, they don't trade on holidays, banking holidays, and so forth. But that being said, it's ready accessible for you to buy these currencies. Now, unlike stocks where you have to buy a certain amount of stocks, here, again, you can buy just small amounts. So there are low transaction fees as well. You can get as low as 25 cents transactions, 50-cent transactions. So it's very, very inexpensive. You can start off with trades that may cost you, like I said, if you do your own individual trading, you can start off with $150, $200, and play with it yourself. You can even get demo accounts that you can mark it out for yourself and be able to play with this market. So it's very, very, very interesting. Now, the one thing I would say, and I didn't put on their screen, the foreign exchange is very high risk. And in fact, I usually have a disclaimer on the screen. It is very high risk to go into the foreign exchange market. I would tell you this, 90% of the people fail. Why is that? Well, number one, there's so many different moving elements. There's some people, it takes them years to really get a foothold, a handle onto the foreign exchange and how it works. So the average person going in may not understand all the moving parts. And again, that's where Vista is coming into place. Vista, we've partnered together because Vista has seen our track record and what we've done with the products that I've developed over time. And what I've done is reduce the risk. And I'll show you that in a second here too. I know I'm promising you a whole lot here. So let's recap real quick. So foreign exchange is basically Forex trading is basically exchange of currencies traded by banks, corporations, retail traders like you and I. The advantages, high liquidity, low barrier of entry, better risk management, and you can trade anytime, 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, low transaction costs. So how does that play into what we've partnered with Vista to do? Well, let me just show you the results of an account that we've been trading with here with my company here. And so here are results from one of our, what we call automated trading bots. This is our corporate account. And guys, let me just tell you something. If you can go to any bank in the world and they can gain about 10% a month, you better stay with them. Guys, I will tell you the average checking account, savings account out there pays less than 1% a year. In this particular account, again, no guarantees, and usually, again, I have a disclaimer on here. There's no guarantees. This is a real live account trading on our software that in the last 3 months, it started trading in October, it actually gained 30%. Now, we had an issue with Brexit a couple of weeks ago. Now, any trader will tell you that there are no guarantees in this field. You can lose some money. Well, look at this. We had a little drop, of course, you guys can see it right there. And let me just make a note here. Let me use my pen. And you guys can see this right here. I wasn't happy about this. But guess what? It didn't do this. We didn't have to start over. And so as soon as just a few days later, you can see what has already happened. It's starting to grow back again. That's an important thing. Not only that, that suggests, and I'm very transparent about things. I like being transparent. I like letting people know that this is a marketplace that you can lose money. And there are people who blow their accounts. What our software does is it has stop losses. So these stop losses prevent it from actually blowing the account. Yes, that was almost a 3%. No, actually it was about a 8% drop, right? So it went from 30% all the way down to 23%. So it's about a 7% drop. But now look at it. It's back up to 26%. Folks, that is the power of this technology. And this is realistic. It's a realistic view. And just imagine if this can do this in 3 months, imagine what can happen in 8 years, 5 years, 3 years. This is the power of the tools that we provide. Guys, we are looking at this is a MetaTrader. And what a MetaTrader does, it's a trading platform. There are multiple trading platforms that are available out there. We chose the MetaTrader because I can actually develop the technology and the software behind the MetaTrader. And so basically what the software does, it looks at various currency pairs. If you can look over to the right over here, you can see some of the currency pairs. And I don't know if you can always zoom up on your screen. If you go to your more options on your platform, you could zoom up if you can't see those. Again, you'll learn more and more about those. So you will see Euro USD and GBP USD. Those are combinations. Those are pair combinations. They're currency combinations. And so what you do is you basically, so for instance, in this example that we have over here, what we have is the Euro USD. Let me use the orange. Let me see if that looks here. And so you can see what is called these candles. These candles are moving up or down, sometimes sideways, and sometimes they're just moving all the way down. What the software does, it looks at the marketplace, and our software is what we call a scalping software, which basically looks for small opportunities in the market move. A lot of traders trade on a monthly basis. There's some traders that don't trade every single day. They may trade once or twice a week, once or twice a month, okay? What our software tries to do, it tries to get as many trades as possible during the day to see if it can get an opportunity. Now, I always tell people doing Forex, and especially if you're doing it on your own, is almost like going to the casino. In fact, it's very, very, very similar to going to the casino and going to the roulette table. Anybody ever play roulette? I love roulette. I play roulette. But roulette is definitely a game of chance. There is a little bit of strategy that you can put into it. In fact, I actually created my own strategy. At one time, when I was living in Detroit, I actually created a little spreadsheet. I'm a smart guy like that. I created a spreadsheet that I took with me, and I printed it. You can't keep technology on the table, so I just had it in a paper form. And I would mark where each of the balls hit. And I was actually able to determine where the next one, or at least the area where the next ball was going to hit. So that's just a tip for you guys. But playing roulette means that you put it on either red or black, right? You had 2 spots. You really had 3. You had 0, double 0. But I'm just going to tell you. So you had to determine whether it came here or whether it came here. Well, in the Forex market, your whole opportunity is really to determine, is the price going up or is the price going down? Those are really the 2 main things that you're trying to determine in the Forex market, is whether the price is going up or it's going down. You make money depending on if you guess properly. And yes, I said the word guess. If you guess properly, you can determine where the price. Now, there are tools that people use. There are different analysis tools. There are different things that they use to determine that. Averages, what they call moving averages. There are different analytical tools that they use. But in general, your whole job is to determine whether the market's going up or going down. What our software does, based on the tools. So Like for instance, this is called an RSI chart over here. Our software looks to see, well, if the RSI reaches here, then it's possible, because it's above this line, and this is just a good example of how you can do a little bit of trading on your own. The RSI chart is a good way to get started a little bit. This is just one of the charts. And if you have an RSI chart turned on, you can actually look at the chart, and it's like a heartbeat, okay? Every minute and every chart, there are different charts that are available here with different time frames. So this particular one is an hour chart, and I don't want to get too technical, but I'm going to show you the basics. So the basics is, if the RSI gets to this point, then we're almost sure that it's going to go down. If it gets below this line, so if we look down here, if it gets to the bottom, we're almost sure that it's going to go up. Now, you probably say, well, if you look at this, you can actually almost see that effect on the chart. So if we look at the chart here, I'm going to erase some of these lines here. Okay, and so if you look at this chart, and let's go back to my drawing tool here, and you can see that this point here, which really kind of coordinates up here, what do you see? It's actually going down. How cool is that? If you look at this point here, it's actually going up. Now, again, it's not a perfect science, and you have to make sure and get out in the right time, because of course, if you get in at this point and the market decides, and you stay in there too long, see, greed is your enemy. Greed is your enemy. If you stay in too long because you want to get that big profit, this market can turn on you, and boom, you get down here, you've just lost all your money. Okay, so there is a high probability of loss. If you really, and greed is, I'll tell you, is probably the worst thing in the marketplace. So with that being said, I hope this gives you guys some perspective. Of course, the Vista packages, you wouldn't need to necessarily learn all of these strategies, but it's good to learn about the marketplace. It's good to learn how the market works. I don't believe in, and I believe in an educated consumer is a smarter consumer. They don't take as much chances. They don't get greedy in the marketplace. Because I believe in conservative growth. There are lots of companies out there that tout their robot, they tout their software, and they tout their trader, and he's gained 100% this month, and your account's going to grow 1,000% this year. Let me tell you, buyer beware. I'm not saying that because I want you to be scared of anything, but the promise of high gains also is the promise of high losses. Because one of the problems with the marketplace is we have absolutely no control over what happens in the marketplace. President Trump, whether you like him or don't like him, he moves the market. He can get into the market. He could actually be speaking right here, and you had this nice buy trade. You saw the market going up. Boom, he speaks. Boom, the market starts crashing down. It happened to us. That's what happened to our account with Brexit a couple of weeks ago. Brexit, they had two major events. They had the vote about Brexit. They had the parliament. I mean, it is just so much in Brexit. The GBP was a pain for us a couple of weeks ago. But again, these are the things that we want to make sure that you are conscious of. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it back over to my host, my friend. So let me turn it back over to you, my friend.